Let's go, Rochelle!
History. Know your history. Your history is free, yes. History is free, but it was not for me. You see, it was as early as the 15th century they brought me here on a slave ship. Because they had never seen anything quite like me. But difference isn't always beneficial, for I was quick to be besieged, captured and held as an animal, for to be called prisoner would be far too human, and to be treated as human would be to be treated as equal, and equals couldn't possibly be property. To be bought and sold, no, property ain't free. History. Know your history. Your history is free, yes. History is free, but it was not for me. You see, I was brought here against my will to this new place with new faces, and discovered the difference between races, and mine was made to toil. I worked the earth, I tilled the soil, and I picked as they whipped and whipped and whipped, chipping at the morsel that is my integrity, robbing me my dignity. Respect couldn't be for me, no, respect ain't free. History. Know your history. Your history is free. Yes, history is free, but it was not for me. You see, it was around the 1870s when they decided to separate us from them. And according to Jim Crow, I was not allowed to drink from the same fountain. I was ordered to follow certain rules, was not allowed in certain schools, and was treated with utter cruelty. Oh, how they overruled me because they had seen me as inferior. And all this was legitimate, despite that I was sick of it, and I just had to live with it, or I would get the lynch with it. My life, the price for ignorance, no justice for me, and without it, you see, I just can't be free. History. Know your history. Your history is free. Yes, history is free, but it was not for me. You see, I would be trying to ride the bus, and if I was sitting down in front, they would tell me to get up and find myself in the back, because that's where niggers sit. But in 1955, a friend of mine said no. And Rosa probably didn't know that her getting arrested and thrown in jail would show that we need not remain under this control. Oh Lord, how I felt in my soul that change was coming for me. And it was soon after, in 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. proclaimed that he had a dream, and things seemed to get a little bit brighter despite the riots, protests, and fires, despite the police brutality and incarceration, despite the murders and assassinations. I felt the walls of segregation breaking down with the proclamation that freedom ring, and I sing the upward back free. History. Know your history. Your history is free. Yes, history is free, and it's coming for me. You see, it was soon after, in 1964, the moment we'd all been waiting for. President Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act. It was no longer a crime for me to be black. I could vote for whomever, education I could receive. I was permitted to use any public facilities. Changes were being made, strong leaders paved the way for those of us who did not have a voice. And it was in that famous song of 73, Johnny Hathaway sang, "Someday we'll all be free." History. Know your history. Your history is free. Yes, history is free, and it is for me. You see, although I've grown up in this skin, I have a chance to make my mark in this world. I excel because those before us breathed in, they prevailed over lawful discrimination. They made it possible for a girl like me to be a woman of integrity. Look at me, I graduated from university. I now wear my color with pride, and for it I no longer have to die. Oh, how I'm reminded of my history by those who bought my liberty. They lived and died that I might be my own. No longer someone's property. I have self-respect, respect for me. I stand here before you to say, I'm free. History. Know your history. History. Know our history. Your history is my history. Your history is my history. Yes, history is free for you and for me. Yes, history is free, and so are we.
Oh, wow, wow. Wow, know your history. And then in 2020, George Chukwu becomes the first Black Prime Minister of Canada. Know your history. How you like that? Sounds good? Why is nobody clapping? Y'all don't think it's possible? Come on, people. Put your hands together for her. Wow, that was excellent. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have